Wow. It will seem, when I come to my remarks, that Dom and I coordinated, but I will just tell you we did not. So it goes like this. I get to finish his story. It's as if, and we do this in the movie, setups and payoffs. That was the setup, here's the payoff. It went like this. In 1973, when you actually still carried your suitcases instead of wheeled them, and midfielders went both ways, I was a skinny freshman attackman at Brown University. Freshman, as Dom said, couldn't play varsity then. And so we were scrimmaging the varsity one afternoon on the snow-shoveled pavement. And as Jeff Wagner and my teammate Mike Evans will tell you, we used to say we could beat any team in the country on a parking lot. We just didn't play any team in the country in a parking lot. That was the problem. So the ball went behind the cage, and I chased it, and with my back to the ref and thing, I pulled a little dirty trick from the mean streets of Baltimore, and the defenseman came up behind me, and I just locked his stick under my arm, like that, because they couldn't see me. And I went to pick it up, and I heard a voice, calm, calm, not loud, but deadly. And it said, "Let go of my blank stick." So that it was terrifying, and it was my first lesson not to mess around with the best defenseman in the nation, Diesel Dom Starsia. And from that day to this, I have looked up to Dom and admired his Hall of Fame achievements. The finest and most significant lacrosse coach ever. And I can look down at his table and see two excellent lacrosse coaches there. That'll give you dudes something to aspire to. But now I get to thank you, Dom, for that kind introduction and for your friendship over the years. And here's the other amazing setup and payoff, which is now we'll take the prop. Because I have here tonight this beautiful piece of wooden architecture. This was the very stick that I had in my hand that day, over 50 years ago. And here's the great part, relic of the wooden stick era that I am. And this is the real thing, Lars, not that fancy souvenir you carry around, you know, when you're messing around. This is the real thing, and it was given to me by Dave White. Here it is, complete with perfect valance, a cheater in the bridge, and for you people who don't know what I'm talking about, ask an old person next to you. And several of the hot shots here who think you can stick handle, try it with this, buddy. Then let me know. But if I'm nostalgic for the days when the game was open and fast, before all this long stick midfield junk and Fogos, when it was the fastest game on foot, and just as a sideline, for the day I broke my neck, that man right there, Mike Evans, brought the ball down the field on a fast break, and I played the point. That's why I was out there. I know, big mistake. All I had to do was face dodge. Not that I think about that every day. Because the last thing I saw before the lights went out and the guy hit me was the ball skip, hit the pipe, and go out. But that nostalgia, here's the thing I'm not nostalgic about. I don't long for the heterogeneity of our era. That I never felt good about. So when one day a few years ago, the great David O'Connor, where are you, David? Doc, there he is. The great David O'Connor did come into my office in Hollywood. And by the way, for any movie fans out there, I do sit in Louis B. Mayer's office, the actual office. David introduced me to a then fledgling organization dedicated to changing the color of the sport. And more importantly, to giving better access to higher education for inner city kids. I was pleased to help out. I also met Mike that day. Where is Mike? Somewhere? That is as impressive a CEO as you're going to find. I was really taken with the model that Mike described, which now, some years later after that, is proving itself as at scale, as witnessed this grand gathering tonight. I was taught by my parents that education is the best answer to society's inequities. But as Mike mentioned, that can be hard to come by for many, especially when you have a far right-wing activist judiciary knocking down rungs on the ladder. Harlem Lacrosse helps kids up that ladder. And I'm honored that Jessica and I, in our small way, and our family, can help out. So, thank you. For tonight, I reached out to a bunch of friends and associates to ask them for their help, and this resulted in good news and bad news. The good news is that they were extremely gracious and generous in their support, and I want to thank each and every one of them profoundly. The bad news is that I agreed to match their support. But seriously, we're glad to pitch in and hope that some others out there, maybe in the room tonight, will do so and push us past our goal tonight. Again, my thanks to everyone who gave tonight and who supports the organization's ongoing efforts. And speaking of support, I want to thank again Doc and Mike and Dom again. And it's so touching to see Mike Evans and my old teammates and Wags and so many good friends, Lars. But I really want to thank my family and dear friends who were here. My long-suffering wife, Jessica, who will assure you, she will assure you that the older I get, the better player I was. Okay. But Dom, I do have to say, okay, I did have the third highest goals per game average in the nation. Just let's go on the record with that. I didn't have a lot of assists, but you know, it's a different matter. My sister, my siblings, my children, some of them, my nephew, I knew you're something. Anyway, a lot of my dear friends and family are here, and my longtime support. So I just want to give you all my endless thanks. And then this is the last thing I'll say, and I shall abscond. Are there some, I think, Harlem Lacrosse kids in the room somewhere? Where are you? Where are you? All right, there you go. There you go. This is what I have to say. Keep studying hard and keep throwing the ball against the wall. Those things took me a long way in life. And you'll be amazed how far they can take you too. Thanks, everybody.